Hey there guys, I'm going to be going to Osta for another clear in Clash of Wills. This time I'm going to be going for a cheese clear that uses hide to get a slow clear in for those of you that can't OTK the boss and can't really do a traditional slow clear. But you've got some limited gear and some old event gear. This clear uses pretty minimal STMRs. I did have to use I think 2 of them on this clear, but for the most part, it's cheap gear, but it does rely on a lot of limited gear and some evasion gear. So this is the team we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get the clear in, or at least try to. I haven't actually done it yet. This is just an idea I had. If it works, I will put a timestamp to the end of the video where I will explain the team, show the gear, explain what's going on. But for now, let's try to get a slow clear using good old-fashioned cheese. Okay, so we're going to... so the boss's turn 1 is real dangerous, as most people know. So we're going to hide the majority of the team. Vesvia is going to hide. Choo Choo is going to hide. Shadow is going to hide. And FaZe is going to shift. And they're going to hide because they're using the concealing cloth. As far as the rest of the team, rip. They're going to stay and die. Alright, there's the boss's buffs he puts up. And he didn't actually kill Aerith. That's okay. We're going to hide again, and now it's Aerith's turn to bite the dust. So mean. And there she goes. Okay, so at this point, we're waiting for the boss's buffs to wear off, and we're waiting for FaZe to come back. FaZe is using the Concealing Cloth, which is a random 3 to 5 turn hide. Alright, that time it was only a 3 turn hide, so that was nice. We can start dealing damage now, or setting up for damage. So Vesvia is going to dual cast the Raise spell from the Phoenix Esper and raise the 2 dead units. Wait for them to come back. Alright, then Choo Choo is going to exercise Jade from an item, that's the Jade Moon Pendant, to give us immunity to statuses. We're going to go to the base form with FaZe, and we're going to mitigate and Nereid's Kiss. That's in mitigation and re-raise. And then Shadow is going to jamming and double concealing. The Nereid's Kiss and the mitigation and all is not important yet because we're not taking any damage, but we're going to later, so it is a little important. Okay. So they're immune. Okay, so Vesvia is going to hide again along with Choo Choo, along with Shadow. They have done their duty. They're going back into the shadows. Go away. Now, Terra, from an Esper, she's on Ramu, is using the Imperil spell. Aerith is going to shift, and she is going to do her Sorceress Sidewinder LB, her shifted LB. FaZe is going to cover and put up Sonar Healing. That's going to heal the other units. Now, if we didn't, we don't have the damage over time yet, but it's going to matter later. Alright, now we have the damage over time. Okay, let's deal some damage. We're going to shift Terra and do her LB. She's already buffed because of Aerith, and Aerith is going to tag chain for that LB. This is going to push the threshold, so before we do that, we're going to go ahead and hide Vesvia. We're going to hide Choo Choo. We're going to hide Shadow. And we're going to shift FaZe to the shift form, and we're going to hide her. Because this is going to push the threshold, it's going to cause bad stuff to happen, and we don't want to deal with it. So we're going to sacrifice our DPS units to push the threshold and handle it for us. First threshold done. Now you want to try to gear your... Now they're gonna get super killed here. Immortal Frame, the boss dispels us, buffs, goes crazy. Yeah, they're dead. But anyway, you want to gear your Terra to where she pushes about 30% per turn. You don't want to put her in best in slot, because then she'll push a double threshold, and you don't want that. You want single threshold at a time. The thresholds are 75, 50, and 25. So we pushed 32% last turn, which is great. Go ahead and hide these. Aerith is going to die here. And the boss is buffed again from that threshold, as you can see. So we're again waiting for that to wear off. Poor Aerith. Taking 1,000,000 damage. Take one for the team. Okay. So now we're waiting for FaZe to come out of her, out of hide. The Concealing Cloth is, again, 3 to 5 turn hide. It's random, so we don't know when she comes back. Doesn't really matter when, just eventually. There she is. Okay, so we're going to dual cast Raise on the DPS units. Wait for this to finish. Okay, now we're going to Exercise Jade with Choo Choo. Shadow is going to break and double concealing. And FaZe will... We're just going to stay in the shift form. We're going to cover and don't heal. Do not heal on this time. We'll just cover and Nereid's Kiss for the re-raise. Alright. Wait for this to finish. Okay, so we've hit the boss with fire damage for two turns already. The third time you hit the boss with fire damage, it's going to make the boss real mad, and he's going to dispel with Deathly Plague. So we need to hide the party again, and we need to get that like out of the boss's queue. So we're going to go ahead and hide everyone, including FaZe. So we're going to hide them. Terra will imperil the boss. Also, you'll notice Terra's shifted form is not ready yet anyway, so we couldn't damage this cycle regardless. So we're going to go ahead and imperil the boss. We're going to shift Aerith and hit the boss with fire damage a third time. This is going to trigger Deathly Plague and get it out of the way. So there we go. Now, this is going to hit Deathly Plague. It's going to dispel the party. Deathly Plague. Party's been dispelled. They're going to go ahead and get killed off. It's not a problem. Aerith didn't die, but she will in a second. We don't want to hit the boss with fire again. She actually survived. So we're going to go ahead and guard her. She's dying to the dot. That's fine. She got petrified. I promise you, she's going to die. It just might take her a moment. There she goes. Okay. You know, we're still waiting for Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy to come back. And when she does, Deathly Plague has been handled. And now we can start setting up for another burst. But we need to wait for Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy to come back, like I mentioned. And there they are. Okay. So once again, Vesvia is going to dual cast Raise on both of the DPS. Wait for them to come back. And we do the same cycle we did earlier. Choo Choo is going to Exercise Jade. Shadow is going to triple. We're going to Jamming and double concealing. We're going to go to the base form with FaZe. And we're going to Splash Fight and Nereid's Kiss. And by shifting on FaZe, we have turned on her cover passively. Notice we did not heal Aerith, and Aerith is not using regeneration gear. We want Aerith to be the lowest health member of the party. That's important for later in the fight. Okay, so Terra, we're going to set up for an LB. Terra is going to... wrong skill. Terra is going to imperil from an Esper. We're going to hide the DPS units. Not FaZe, though. FaZe's got to stay here while we do a damage turn. So we're going to hide these three. Aerith is going to shift. We're going to do Sorceress Sidewinder. And FaZe is going to cover. And now that the DPS units are gone, we're going to heal. That's important for the damage over time. We didn't actually have it that turn. The hide duration is working out that we don't have the dot. If we did, the two DPS units would have gutsed the damage over time. Anyway, it's time to deal damage. So once again, we're going to hide the DPS units. And this time we're going to also hide FaZe. We're going to shift her to the shift form and hide her because we're pushing the threshold again. And this is going to be Angry Dragon. So we're going to shift Terra. We're going to do her LB. It's been powered up by Aerith. We're going to Flame Fang. And the reason that they're getting their LB back is from things like Call of the Wilds and all that. And again, I'll explain all the team's gear and what's going on with it at the end of the clear. Anyway, let's go ahead and burst again. This should push the boss to about 40-ish%. Yeah, there we go. But not 25. So we pushed one threshold, so here comes Immortal Frame. Boom, Immortal Frame, Dispel. A lot of bad stuff. Boss is going crazy. Doing more attacks now that he's low in health. It's fine. Terra is petrified. She'll die to the damage over time. So don't worry about that. She will die. Yep, she guts. She's going to die next turn. Not a problem. Go ahead and hide these units. We're waiting for FaZe to come back. Also, we're waiting for the boss's buffs to go away from the threshold. Okay, so when FaZe comes back, there we go. FaZe is back. So let's go ahead and start getting ready. We're going to dual cast Raise on... Oh, that's dual black magic. Whoops. We're going to dual cast Raise on Terra and Aerith. Wait for this to finish. Okay, Choo-Choo is going to exercise Jade for the status immunity. Shadow is going to, let's see, Jamming, Concealing, Concealing. And FaZe is going to cover and Nereid's Kiss this turn. Okay. The boss is going to do more attacks. Notice that Aerith is the lowest health unit on the party right now. Okay, once again, you know, Terra's LB as shift form is not ready. Also, the next time we hit the boss with fire, he's going to do Deathly Plague. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way by hiding everyone, including FaZe, who's going to go back to... Actually, no, I'm sorry. No, she's going to stay in the shift form. Stay in the shift form. That's important for later. And we're going to hide, and Shadow's going to hide. So hide all these first. Terra can imperil the boss from an Esper. And then Aerith can go ahead and shift and hit the boss with fire. That will trigger Deathly Plague. Because each time you hit the boss with an element, the third time, he dispels your party. And there's the damage over time. Not a problem. There's Deathly Plague. It's done, so don't have to worry about it anymore. Baleful Claw and all. He's killing our team. It's fine. Dead. Okay. So notice the damage over time on the small units. They can't die while they're off screen. So the damage over time is like killing them and they're coming back. They're gutsing. I'm sorry, they're not gutsing. They are not gutsing. They can't die. They don't need guts. So they are just, you know, hiding. We're waiting for FaZe. Again, they cannot die off screen. Yeah, you're immune to death while hiding. And at this point, the damage over time has worn off, I think. Nope, one more turn. So we're just waiting. Okay, now it's worn off. Okay, FaZe's back. Let's make sure there's no damage over time. I think it's all worn off at this point. It is. Is her Nereid's Kiss ready? It is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get Terra back up so we can start getting ready for some damage. So we're going to raise the 2 DPS units. Okay, Choo-Choo is going to Eccentric. Shadow is going to Jamming and Concealing. And we're going to go to the base form with FaZe. And she's going to Splash Fight and Nereid's Kiss. Okay. And that puts up cover automatically. Malevolent Flame. That sucked. Didn't matter though. Okay. And the boss is like real mad that we've been hiding. He's like unleashing his queued up attacks. It's fine. Okay. So we've got the damage over time again. Let's see. FaZe should have it as well. She does. It's fine though. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide these units. We need to hide Shadow as well. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Alright, so Terra is going to imperil. We're going to shift Aerith. Let me go ahead and hide the other units first. So the LB crystals can go to Aerith. Alright, imperil first. Shift the LB. And Shoreline, Fina, and Daisy will cover and sonar healing. And that should be enough to survive the damage over time for her. Yep, she's good. The rest of the party has guts and all that, so we're fine there. Okay, a lot of attacks. And we're evading most of it. Okay, perfect, perfect. And again, we're going to push a threshold. So we're going to go ahead and I want to be a Nutkin. Play dead. Shadow's got to get out of here. We have the damage over time on the party, and we don't want to get them killed. We're going to shift to the shift form with Phasey and hide. So get them all out of here, and let's deal some damage. Terra is going to Chaotic Inferno, and then Aerith is going to quad tag. We're going to push another threshold here. Okay. So notice that Terra is going to die from the dot, but she's going to guts it in the shift form. And again, I'll show the gear at the end. So she gutsed it. She survived here. So here is the boss Immortal Frame. There it is. That's the last threshold. We've dealt with it at this point. So now the boss is going to start doing, mean stuff. Doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're waiting for the damage over time to fade on the party. Also waiting for the boss's threshold buffs to go away. And again, you cannot die while off screen. So we are just, laughing at that damage over time. Still waiting. Okay. Damage over time is now gone, which is good. Okay. I actually... No, we're good, we're good. Okay, let's go ahead and dual cast Raise on the 2 DPS units. Yeah, the boss has the Deathly Plague queued up, so we need to deal with that for now. Alright, Choo Choo, Exercise Jade. Assassin Shadow will break and double concealing. And Shoreline Fina will shift to the base form, where we will Splash Fight and Nereid's Kiss. Yes. Okay, here we go. Bunch of attacks. We're not really worried about it. We're good. The boss isn't doing, I forget the name of it. The gravity attack that will kill Shoreline Fina, but she's got re-raise and she'd come right back and keep covering even if she did get the gravity attack. That's the reason we're doing re-raise. But the boss is like being friendly and not doing it this clear, which I kind of wish he would have, so you can see it in action. But as long as you keep up re-raise, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go ahead and hide these. We're going to Imperil, and oh, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. So we're gonna Imperil. Yeah. Oh, he bounced it back. Doesn't really matter though. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Okay. So we will Flame Fang. Okay. So actually, that's good to know that the boss is in peril. We can't Imperil anymore. There's Deathly Plague. So that's been handled. All right. And now the boss is going to, do bad stuff to our party. But Deathly Plague is done. So now, once the team comes back again, we can go for the final burst and finish off the boss. We're not going to be able to Imperil because of the reflection, I guess. That's okay. We'll do it without Imperil. We're not using modifiers, so it doesn't really matter. All right, we're waiting for Phasey to come back from the Concealing Cloth. There she is. Okay, let's finally get it in. Let's go ahead and raise both of these. Wait for this to finish. Alright, Choo Choo, give us status immunity with Exercise Jade. Shadow, we're going to go ahead and break and double concealing. And Phasey is going to shift. And we'll do the same thing we've always been doing. We're going to Splash Fight and Nereid's Kiss. Hopefully the boss does the gravity attack so we can see what happens when you re-raise your tank. Let's see here. Malevolent Flame might kill, yeah, kill Aerith. Came right back, not a problem. He's not doing the gravity attack. Well, whatever. And if he had done Malevolent Flame on Shoreline Athena instead, by the way, she would have been immune anyhow because she has 160 Dark Resist. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and Imperil and Shift and Sorceress. We're going to hide the DPS first, or the support units first. Play dead, and Vesvia will... I want to be a Nutkin. Oh yeah, we can't Imperil. We can't Imperil, so we're actually not going to Imperil. Yeah, we can't Imperil. So we will just... We don't want to guard either. We'll just hit the boss. Whatever. Do this. Let's see. We're going to cover and heal with Phasey. Okay. Damage over time. We guts it. Some attacks on the team. Please do your gravity attack and kill Phasey so I can show it. You're not cooperating, boss. You're not killing my Phasey. But we have re-raise, so it wouldn't have mattered. Okay, so there is a slow cheese clear on Asfa the Undead Dragon. So if you can't OTK, you can cheese it with Hide. Now I'll go ahead and show you the team and all in just a moment. Now if your Terra, now my Terra is geared relatively budgetish. I'll show you the gear in a moment. But if yours is like even lower geared, it would take longer. You know, just keep doing the same thing. The only time you have to worry about is those thresholds. Those thresholds, you gotta hide from those thresholds. And there's the clear. That will get you a level 99 clear if you have all of this equipment. So let me go ahead and show the party. Don't turn on the modifiers for this clear. So here's the team. Choo Choo and Vesvia are replaceable. As sad as it makes me to say that, you can replace Choo Choo. They just need to be units with a one-turn hide. Zahn works, both 4-star and Mastermind Zahn both work for the strategy. But you do need one of them to be a female. So, like Sedona or Vesvia or Choo Choo, all of these are females because they have to be able to equip the Jade Moon Pendant. So you can't use like both Zahn and Mastermind Zahn for that strategy. You can use one or the other. The rest of the party, Terra can be replaced by, I guess, like Ferris could replace Terra, or really any finisher, technically. Terra is one of the best choices because, it was relatively quick using that strategy. But your finisher is going to be on an Esper that has the Imperil spell. One of your hiders needs to be on Phoenix with the Raise spell learned and dual cast. And that's it. That's it for Espers that matter. Okay, so the rest of the team, Phasey, in both forms is geared pretty much identical. A little bit different resistance gear because she needs 160 unbuffed resistance to fire and 150 unbuffed resistance to dark. So both forms have 160 fire and 150 dark. Rest resistances don't matter. She needs full status immunity in both forms. We're getting that from Yoshikiri's card. And then both forms need to be wearing the Concealing Cloth. I know this is a limited event item. If you don't have it, the strategy won't work for you. I'm just sorry to say. Yep, and she needs to have some regeneration from some source. We gave her Arden's Hat in both forms. And she needs to have full evasion in both forms. Now, we're not using any STMRs, so this is not a hard, any non-free STMR. This was given free during an event. Yeah, so this is not like a really hard to build character. It just does rely on event gear like the evasion knuckles. But if you don't have this, you can use like an STMR dagger or sword with evasion. It's fine. Yeah, so full evasion, 160 fire, 150 dark, full status immunity, and Concealing Cloth in both forms. That's her build. She does re-raise, mitigation for the damage over time, and she hides a lot, etc. Assassin Shadow is kind of important for this. He has a 1-turn hide. He's also a breaker. He's also an AoE Mirager. So he is using an actual STMR. I think one of the only 2 I'm using on the team for that. He is, technically he's passive provoke. I don't think that actually mattered in that clear. I think FaZe provoked at all times anyway. I'm pretty sure she did. So his provoke is kind of irrelevant. So if you don't have all this gear, that's okay. But he does need 160 to fire resist, unbuffed, and full status immunity, and full evasion. So he gears for evasion easily though. So full evasion, 160 fire, status immunity, and a source of regeneration that heals both health and mana. So Ayaka's TMR, Arden's hat, I'm wearing both, but yeah, you need one of them. We didn't use the shift form, and the card was just a card with high MP, just to get more mana back. And that's that. We'll come back to the hiders in a minute. Descendant Aerith needs, again, full evasion. Resistances don't matter, but she does need status immunity. So status immunity and full evasion, that is all that matters. Yep, both forms, same thing. Status immunity and full evasion. Now with all the spare slots, you want to give her as much LB per turn as possible. We also gave her the Dragon's Brush for more LB a turn. That's optional. If you don't have enough LB per turn, it'll just slow the clear down. But you want her LB to regenerate each cycle, so you can do her LB. Yeah, so both forms, just full evasion. Derp, and guts. She needs a source of guts. We're getting this from this vision card. This is like technically a free card. It's in the random pool. Hopefully you've pulled a ton of them by now. I've got 2 of these at level 10 just from random pulls. But it is RNG. If you don't have this card, give her a source of guts from somewhere, like FaZe's STMR or something like that, Vanille's STMR. But she does need guts. That way, when the damage over time is active, she doesn't die on the first turn. Terra, in the base form, is full evasion, status immune. The statuses that matter. We're not blind immune, but that doesn't matter for her. Resistances don't matter, but it's full evasion, status immune. And again, get some LB per turn so we can get her LB filled, and full evasion. And now she has guts in the base form as well. From Awerba's Boon. This was technically given for free from the Steel Dummy event a week ago, if you picked it, so it's technically a free gear. It's kind of stretching it though. And then Call the Wild for filling her LB more often. We gave her Spell Daggers for the Auto Fire Amplify. That's from it's a free gear from the event. If you don't have that, you can use like Kuja's STMR, or just not have Fire Amplify and just do less damage. It'll just take longer, but it'll still work just fine. Shift form. Pure damage. Pure damage, no survival, no status immunity, nothing. Just all in for damage in the shift form. We only shift on the turns we burst. And then she dies, and we don't care. So this is technically kind of a budget build, but it is using her own STMR and a source of guts. She needs a... Okay, this is important. She needs a different source of guts in the shift form. So Awerba's in the base form, and another source of guts in the shift form. That's because if on the first turn she damage over times and gets killed or gets guts the first time, she then shifts and gets a second source of guts in the shift form. So yeah, so it's not really a budget build, but it's overall relatively cheap gear. And like I mentioned during the video, you don't want your Terra to be overgeared and pushing double thresholds. Double thresholds, it just makes the clear more complicated. I did it earlier in a test run, and I figured a way to deal with the double threshold, but it makes it a lot more complicated and more of a headache. Just don't push a double threshold. Never do. Just don't gear her that highly, and you'll be fine. Do about 30% per burst. And then the 2 hiders. Okay, so the hiders can be anything. Like I said, Zahn, Frank Pritchard, Sedona, all of these are fine. We're using Choo Choo because Choo Choo's awesome. And we need at least a copy of the Jade Moon Pendant. This is important for giving a status immunity buff. Now, Choo Choo is here because she has a 1-turn hide. 1-turn hides are important, not the random turn hides. Other than that, you want to give her as much HP as possible so that when she has more HP than Aerith when Aerith revives, because one of the attacks hits a single target lowest HP unit, and it's a physical attack, and Choo Choo is not evading, so we need that to go to Aerith. Other than that, a source of healing and MP regen. And yeah, she just hides most turns and does Exercise Jade for the status immunity. I gave her Riku's Pouch to recover from a bad turn. We never needed it, but just in case, you want to give her that in case one turn we need to like swap it up and do status cures, but we never needed to in the clear, so yeah. And then Vesvia, basically the exact same thing. Now, I am using 2 copies of Jade Moon Pin. As you saw, Vesvia never used hers. That was, again, just for, like, absolute emergencies. But as long as you don't make a mistake, you're not going to need it. Now, she needs dual cast, so she can raise from Phoenix. And other than that, give her enough HP to have more HP than Aerith when she revives from the raise spell. And, yeah, source of healing and MP per turn. And dual cast for raise. And, yeah. And you saw the strategy. You just hide out the bad turns. When you push the threshold, hide everyone except the 2 DPS. So the boss can go crazy with thresholds and it doesn't kill everyone. Because the thresholds AoE dispel your party. Which is really complicated to deal with. Yeah, I've tried to do a budget run that slow clears it through the lower phases. But those AoE dispels on threshold, if you're not hiding your party, they are hard to deal with without using like STMRs and stuff, and it was hard to do a budget run without using any STMRs or like a whole meta Neovisions team. Anyway, there is the cheese hide method on Asva. See you next time.